SalesCrunch. Learn more, earn more.
Of that trend that we all know exists, and it's a problem. I still, to this day, most of the people I talk to here before we got started apologize to me for not being internet savvy, for not being active in social media. So that's good news, because there's still a lot of people out there that we can help. And small business owners don't have millions of dollars to hire the big agencies and buy the best software. So we really set out to bring together all the tools necessary for a small business to be able to be found when someone is looking for your business or looking for the problems that you can solve in search engines, in blogs, in social media. For the more technical folks in the room, if you double click on what that is, we're essentially a marketing suite, an inbound marketing suite of a collection of applications that help you get found in search engine SEO tools. We have a blog that's included, kind of like a WordPress. We have a social media monitoring tool, like a Hootsuite, all things to get traffic to your site. We have a whole bunch of tools that help you convert that traffic into a lead that you can call. We have a tool that helps you build landing pages, to add forms. And we have a whole bunch of tools that help you get that lead into a customer. We have tools like lead intelligence tools. We have an email marketing tool, like a Constant Contact. We have a lead nurturing tool, like a Marketo or an Eloqua. And we have an analytics tool that helps you measure the whole top to bottom performance of your marketing function, like Google Analytics. So we essentially have bundled all that into one marketing suite that starts at $250 a month. So it's been a good run. We appreciate you guys coming out, and we're excited to talk about how sales works and how marketing works, and hopefully you'll pull something away from it.
I feel like we're way beyond the who we are thing now that we've heard that in depth. But I'll give you a little bit of background, since you already know that before a year ago, we founded SalesCrunch about a year ago, and for the 5 years leading up to that, I was the founding VP of sales for a company called Trillia.com, which is now the second largest real estate site in the country. It took me about 2.5 years to convince my co-founders that we were building a sales organization. I really thought my CEO, the first time I said that, was going to throw me out the door because he thought he was building a technology company. I was right. Of the 225 employees that Trillia now has, 125 are in sales. By this time next year, 66% of the company will be sales. It took the company profitable last August, and they just announced that the company will go on IPO. Trillia basically makes all its money from advertising. So there were 3 different sales teams that we set up, 2 enterprise sales teams, where anywhere from the real estate industry, Prudential, Coldwell Banker, Century 21 was paying us tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. But the sales force that actually is fueling the growth of the company is selling directly to real estate agents, buying anywhere from $50 a month to a couple $1,000s a month, to make sure that they own their neighborhood and whatever area that they deem themselves to be an expert in. And it was an interesting process building that team to see kind of how it came from 5 of us in 2005 to 225, and it was an incredibly painful process. It sounded so easy just saying it just now, to build a 125-person sales team and get the company profitable, but it was unfortunate how painful building a sales team was, and how many people we had to go through to find the right ones. And I think, unfortunately, it is such a fuzzy art, and there's so much, with 80% of revenue coming from 20% of the sales team, there's so much opportunity to help people make a living and help companies grow economic stimulation. So for perspective, before we drive into the particulars, you mentioned the product. Your product starts at $250 a month. But maybe you could talk about, they're typically, I think it's perspective on kind of how everything works behind the scenes, understanding the price point, because it makes a difference. And I think a lot of people think process only comes from high volume inside sales transactions, inside being sort of boiler room type situations, but I don't think that's the true with you guys. I mean, your price point, at least for a small business, is is a value prop exchange, right?
Yeah. So yeah, there's 3. You're asking about the different products.
Yeah.
That's the cheaper one is $250 a month, $3,000 a year, and then there's a $13,000 a year and $18,000 a year. So you can sell decent amounts of money over the phone, especially these days with great tools like SalesCrunch and the different apps that are out there. That's a big shift in software sales, especially these days, is try to, don't sell that $1 million package, that 6-digit package, bring down that price low enough. I think I've even seen things as high as like $50,000, $60,000 a year being sold over the phone. I think customers appreciate it as well.
So you guys are known for teaching people how to generate leads, and I think you eat your own dog food. How many leads a month do you guys generate with your blog, for example, or just in total?
So last month we had a record lead month. We had almost 39,000 people fill out web forms to download kits, participate in webinars, request demos, request inbound marketing assessments. So those are almost 40,000 people that expressed an interest in the content that we've created. Because in a lot of respects, if you're selling a product where your website's not a transaction vehicle, you're not swiping a credit card, you need to get people to raise their hand and tell you who they are. Right? You need that person to convert, so they give you their email address, they give you their name. In a lot of respects, what you're creating is this sort of transaction for
you.
you.
Be respectful and
no, yeah, you get a feel. I mean,
lead.
obviously you prefer to just go right into it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that happens. And sometimes you get, Sean, I mean, obviously it doesn't like, oh yeah, I got tons of time. And I'm not busy at all, right? I mean, I mean, you've done this so many times. But sometimes you get someone who's super psyched and yeah, I'll set up a portal right now. Let's roll right into it. Or, hey, what about, you have a meeting now? What about this afternoon?
I'm surprised if it's done right, how many people will say, I have a meeting in 2 minutes, and 45 minutes later they're still on the phone.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So you've done your job if that happens, it's full shit.
Yeah.
Right? And it wasn't that important, and maybe it was a meeting with himself, and whatever you had to say was more important.
SalesCrunch. Learn more, earn more.